And we're back, gente. What's cracking with it? Man, welcome back to the Blockout Podcast. We are here in full effect. And you guys are probably thinking, no, it's not an illusion. We got rid of the mics.
Right?
We went lavalier. What you think, girl?
I like it. It's hands-free.
What's up, girl?
Got mobility now.
Shit, pass me 2 drinks now, huh? I be double-fisted up in this mug.
Dang, I don't even know what to do with myself.
You know, shit. What's up? No, but it's all good. It's good to be back. And I want to shout out everybody tapping in, first and foremost. Those that are watching on the live, please share the live if you can. Hit that subscribe button and let everybody know, all your tios and tias and primos, that we are live right now. If you're watching this on the playback too, hey, salute to you and consider subscribing as well, because we got some juicy guests, man, on here. I'm telling you, today we are chopping it up. I don't know if that was the right word to say.
I know. They're weird now.
Juicy fruit.
I know.
Johnny Murillo is in the building, the founder of Chicano Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen.
I am a little juicy. I'm trying. I'm trying to lose weight. So yeah.
I got something here. I just kind of want to read, and I tell you, I hate going off structure, but I'm just gonna read this, and you tell me what's fake and what's real, what's not. All right. It says, Johnny Murillo is on a mission to put our stories, our culture, and our people front and center in the entertainment game. Am I cool so far?
Yeah, dude, that's a mission.
Born and raised in the barrio. Johnny started out as a pastor for over 20 years, which I did not know.
23 years with the Asamblea de Dios, predicando la palabra en todas partes del mundo. Yes. Yeah.
And we got to talk about man, I might have to give myself to Christ today. Again.
Not again.
Am I re-up for that? Anyway, screw all this, man. We got Johnny Murillo. I'm happy that you're here, bro, at the podcast. I know we tried to get this together about a month ago, but unfortunately I was sick. But I'm glad you're here now, and you are on and popping right now, my brother. I want to get into your story, but first we want to go around the weekend because we had some gigs this weekend. I know Crystal and I we linked up on TikTok on Saturday.
Low key. And
we had a TikTok barbecue in my backyard.
Oh, what'd you do?
We just barbecue, kids will swimming, and then we go live on TikTok.
Oh, cool.
On the Blackout Podcast, and that's where we do the music, because YouTube, they like to flag our music. Yeah. So on TikTok, you could do that all day. So Danny usually comes through. Tomas pulled up with some carne and chicken. And, we had the flanking ribs popping. The drinks were flowing, and so was the pee in the pool.
Oh, yeah. Just don't drink.
I thought it was only the Tomas that was doing it. Yeah, don't swallow. You know what I'm saying? Don't swallow.
Don't swallow. Don't swallow.
Don't open your eyes.
But I looked at that, I was like, damn, that shit's foggy. I said, man, but you know what? It was only kids in there.
If you smell chlorine,
yeah,
it's because it's activated by the urine.
Oh.
So whenever you walk in, like, that Great Bear, big old resort and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever that one's called. When you walk in, it just smells like chlorine. It's because people just
good to know.
It's a chemical thing. So
every hotel I go to.
If you smell the chlorine when you get there, it's like
that pool is badass.
Yeah.
It's fucking really strong though. Yeah, that just means it's clean.
Yeah. You gotta walk in like medicinal purposes only. Just walk in knowing it's gonna be full of pee. But
good to know. So that was a vibe Saturday, and then Sunday, man, we went out. I never go out on Sunday. Like, it's family day. We just like to just kick it at home. I'm a homebody, But my wife and I were supposed to go to brunch over at the Riverside Airport over there, and she ended up staying back. My little girl had and she got sick, her tummy. So I went ahead and went out and met with shout outs to Carrie. We had lunch brunch over there at the Riverside. If you haven't been there, go check it out. I.e. Riverside Airport. That's where it's at every Sunday. Shout out to DJ Dizzle. They do a little mixing in there. Micheladas off the hooks for all the chilaquiles. Danny, you missed out on that, bro.
Damn.
But it was a great time. And then I headed down over to this record shop in Riverside over by Arlington and Adams, I believe. And there's where Egyptian Lover. You got to show him, man. Show him. Egyptian Lover was doing a set at a record store. Yeah, my homegirl was like, hey, this pop up, man. I go, hell yeah, I'm going to pop up. So I went camera ready, had my mics, and I hadn't seen him in a while. And I said, yo, Egypt, what's up, bro? I said, what you doing? He goes, man, I'm selling my vinyls, bro. So you got this vinyl right there. And then I had him sign this one off. You get this right here.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? Back in the old days, the original.
That's cool.
Is that the new one or is that one?
There's two of them. But these are the original, it's got the original labels on them.
Wow. And he was just selling them, just pop up?
Man, vinyl is popping right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he was in his own booth, just him and his buddy, and they were just slanging. I said, I'll grab two from you, brother.
Awesome, man. Yeah.
And then I got an interview from him, and then he went live in the mix inside the store for 45 minutes. So shout outs to Elements Record Store. Really cool guys. I got a chance to meet them. Man, have you heard of that spot?
I haven't, and I'm from that area, so
girl.
I'm surprised.
Oh wow.
So
That's dope, though.
you got to go down there, man, and they're just all about spinning vinyl and stuff like that. So really cool meeting Egyptian Lover. And like I said, I was able to get a few words with him. So you guys wait for that.
That's
Hopefully
cool.
that'll be this week. Other than that, would y'all anything? Hold on, let's pull over. Can we pan to the left over here, my left, your right?
Speaking
to
of
the model?
Egypt.
Bella's over here.
Speaking of Egypt.
Shit.
What's up, Bella? What's new do? Or?
I had a shoot today, so we came already prepared today.
Yeah, I see that.
Not how could I knew that.
Look, I've never seen it, which I love, because whoever's directing you or whoever's doing that has got some type of vision.
Shout out Alicia. She did her thing.
Yeah, she
did
smoking
it in
some
like
good
30
shit.
minutes.
Yeah.
Wow,
No,
that's
I can't
good.
even brush my hair in 30
Sick.
minutes.
Hell no.
Really?
Homegirl got down.
So at the end of the night, does that come off somehow, or?
It's been on. It hasn't moved since like 11 this morning.
What? So when you go to
it's
sleep
on
tonight,
there.
though, are you gonna kind of do one of these?
Yeah. Nah, it's coming out. Nah, it's coming out.
I'm gonna rock this shit tomorrow, man.
It's all lopsided.
Damn.
Damn.
That's cool.
That's
It's a lot of hairspray.
The Aquanet. Huh.
Shout out. Five
Yeah.
hands.
Aquanet.
Aquanet.
Yeah, still doing it.
Ozone's back open again. Got another hole now.
Exactly.
Alicia, is that her name?
Alicia.
What's her handle or her
Styles
company?
by Alicia.
One more time.
Styles by Alicia.
Styles by Alicia. Shout out Styles by Alicia. There
Hell
you go.
yeah, she did her thing.
All right. Look at you, just handling the photo shoots. So that you just had one today, and then what about the? Oh, ha!
I was waiting for him to.
I'm like,
First of all, I'm gonna start with a positive note. Happy birthday,
Oh,
belated.
thank you.
Celebrated birthday.
Thank you. We
On
getting old over
Saturday,
here.
right? Yeah, come on, girl. I'll trade you for a weekend. But you celebrated your birthday. I invited her to the barbecue we had, and she said, "No, I'm going to the Dodger game for my birthday, so have fun with that." I was like, "All right, have fun, girl." What was the score Saturday?
Oh, no.
They don't worry about it.
What was the score Saturday?
We don't. I can tell you the score right now. They up right now.
It's like 16-0.
Oh, man.
Yo,
that was
I
bad.
saw it with my own 2 eyes.
Dude,
and
that
it
must
was-
have been the longest game ever.
It was bad. I don't know why we stayed.
Did you guys all the way home?
I cried in the line to the bus.
Oh my God.
When did the fans start leaving? Second, seventh inning?
Good question.
The eighth.
Eighth, they said.
The eighth, you could see that like half the
It's
stadium was like
Wow,
they were
yeah.
dipping, and I'm like, nah.
That's when it's like, all right, let's get out of here. Beat the traffic.
I was like, nah. If there's a chance that they're gonna whack one over here, I want to catch it. So let's just stay.
Yeah.
But no, I was kind of like, damn it, I don't want to see this shit.
You know, I felt was interesting. I don't know his name, but that picture that came on and
Rojas,
started throwing
dude.
the lobs. Was he
He-
doing that? He was
he
making
gave
fun
up.
of people.
No,
he's
he-
the second baseman, fool.
He gave up.
Why would they put him at pitcher?
You have the mic,
They
too.
don't want to waste the pictures. They're already
Oh.
smashed on. They saved the pictures and they put in like.
I thought
just
so.
above the ball.
They
I
could have
thought-
put
So
me
they
in.
gave up. They
could've put
benched all the
me in.
pitchers and
Yeah, 16-0.
they gave up.
Well,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
gave
yeah,
away.
yeah, it's like whatever,
But he gave away 5 runs
Yeah,
because
but
of him. And
Wow.
before that, the
it's
pitching
crazy the
was-
strategy that the management has to like, okay, let's just bench and
They're
move
going
on.
to lose already. They just want to save their arms, the
Yeah.
starters.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
But they don't got to put in the starters. They got all these.
And on
strings.
Bella's birthday,
And
come
on my birthday,
really?
man.
Now you could have did that on Tomas's birthday or fucking Danny's. At least Tomas would have been in the corner drinking michelada. How many micheladas did you have? Like, I know that was long as shit.
I had one non-alcoholic beer. I was totally
okay.
behaving.
Okay.
Totally behaving. So I took that sober.
Oh, good
Damn.
for you. Better you than me.
It's not even worse because you were sober.
Yeah, it was pretty stone cold.
So, worst game in franchise history, man. I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to rub it. I'm an Angels fan, so.
Oh, wow.
So he
let's
needs
talk
to rub
positive
it.
news right now. Moose, how are we doing right now, Moose?
It's only right.
What? Say it again?
First place.
First place? Is that what you
Oh,
said?
man.
For what? We got 3 hitters.
Because Mike Trout's healthy now.
Yes. Trout. ¿Cómo
He has
se?
the most home runs in MLB right now.
Yes.
30 home runs.
3 players in the
Oh, I didn't know
Angels.
you guys doing that well.
Damn,
Oh,
Moose.
damn.
It's my cousin.
That's my cousin.
Moons knows all the stats.
That's great.
He's a
Good shit. So
reporter.
tell me about you, sir. I mean, I know some, but I don't want to get incorrect because obviously I'm already 0 for 1 on based off the Google. 23 years as the pastor, grew up in San Jose. How did you, man, I mean, growing up in the Bay Area, right?
Yeah, I'm from San Jose originally. Yeah.
And you got into the whole, are you still in ministry or?
Well, no, I'm not officially. Back in when this whole transition came, like to me, this is like I tell you, it's a call of God for me, right? I raised in the barrio like everybody else, so I have that same type of story, right? And real dad was a wino on the street, didn't really know him that well. Stepdad was he was caught up in all the northern politics, all that
Yep.
kind of stuff, right?
Yep.
And he was killed in '75, so we were little kids. So I had my mom, single mom, 5 kids. Raised in the hood,
outs to
right in the
Mom,
barrio.
man.
Yeah, she was
Shout outs to
strong.
Mom.
I didn't know how strong she was until after. I've always known she was strong because she beat the crap out of us when we needed it, right?
Right.
But when I look back, how the heck did she raise 5 kids by herself? The 3 oldest, my older brother, myself, and my younger brother, we all got caught up in the street stuff, right? She's working 14 hours a day at the canneries and all that, and we're running the streets, and we're just doing our thing. And I tell people all the time, my older brother's a good cholo. My younger brother was a great cholo because he became a lifer, right? So I was
Laughing respectfully, Colonel.
respect, yeah. And so I was in the middle, and I tried it. It wasn't my thing, right? I was a lowrider. I was a lowrider. I had a
right.
53 Chevy, and that, our thing was Storing King. I don't know what are they. What was it out here? I know it's Whittier over there in LA. What's it out here?
Whittier, here, you had Magnolia and Riverside,
Vermont.
Bristol and Santana, Mount Vernon back in the day. over there in San
So
Bernardino.
all those, yeah. So we had Storing King up there. So we did that. So I had that typical 80s teenage life, but Chicano style, right? And
Right.
so that's where all life was. And then, of course, we had to make some changes. Things were getting crazy. Myself, my older brother, all of us, we started going to church, and I just wanted to become a pastor. 23 years in ministry.
How old were you at this point when you got
when I was 18, my little come to Jesus moments when I got kicked out of high school. I should have graduated. I remember I disappointed my mom so much. She was so hurt because she's been working her life, all her life. And then when I came and said, I'm not graduating. I mean, literally, they bought presents and everything.
It's like she depended on you because the others weren't doing so well.
No, man. My older brother, yeah, he did graduate. My younger brother was, by this time, was really caught up. And my twin sisters, they were still young. But it was a big disappointment. It was at a party when I saw my friends graduate. 2 of us didn't out of our 5, right? So 2 of us didn't. They did. We were at a party that night. The address was 58 Willow Street, San Jose, my homie Manuel's house. Outside party. And everybody's getting high, drunk, hooking up, all that. And I was just sitting there thinking, what did I do with my life? And I just said, you know what? I screwed it up. And so the next day I went to talk to my pastor and I said, look, I didn't graduate. I don't know if you have any options. I can't, I was already 18 by now. So he said, go to Bible school. I'm like, what the heck's a Bible school? I can't be a priest. That's different restrictions, so that's not me, So he told me about it. So I went. I showed up to my desert Bible school way out in freaking southern Arizona, right by, if you're familiar with Arizona, Nogales and Naco and Bisbee. I showed up to this nasty little group of buildings. It was an old school Spanish Pentecostal Bible school. I had a dime bag with me, and I'm like, what the heck am I doing here? And I went, and it worked, I just surrendered everything. I said, all right, what do you want me to do, God?
Yeah.
So for 23 years, I did what he wanted me to do in the ministry. And then 17 years ago, he said, I'm going to change it for you. Now I'm going to send you to Hollywood. And I'm like, what the heck? I'm a Pentecostal. We preach against Hollywood. We preach against secular music, right? I missed all the pop culture of the 90s, just so you know, right? Because I was hard in it. But then said, nope, I'm sending you there. And it made sense because I couldn't come to Hollywood in my younger years because I would have got caught up even more, right?
Makes sense. Yeah.
So now I realize, we came here and it still doesn't make sense to me. We moved to Culver City back in 2009. And I didn't know jack about nothing, but I just started learning, did some acting. I took a couple classes at UCLA, and I just started picking up, connecting with other Chicano filmmakers. Yeah. And from that point to 4 years ago, I was just in the game, right? I wasn't pastoring, wasn't ministry, nothing like that. I surrendered all that stuff, and I just became a producer. So I'm what's called a line producer. So like I was telling you earlier, I'll get a script and I'll break it all down and I put a budget together for it and then we make it happen, right? So, and I also write as well. So, I have a few movies that I've helped produce.
I'm sorry. Can you hear that?
The Chihuahua?
Yeah?
That's a Chihuahua. They always bark when they hear me talking.
All right, go ahead. You okay with it? I'm okay.
All dogs go to heaven, yeah. So I don't know why.
Do they have mental for dogs?
Yeah, I know. So anyways, that's how it's been. So 4 years ago was when Jeff Reyes from Echoes World hit me up. It was right after COVID. Okay. And he says, hey, can you turn this to a script? And I said, yeah, let me look at it. No one's doing nothing anyway. COVID's right at the ending, right? Yeah. So I flipped that to Orchata with Oat Milk, and you guys saw that. And it was on that set that I nicknamed that group Chicano Hollywood. It was just a joke. We were having a dialogue meeting, and LB, the director, he's smoking a joint in front of the script. We had it projected on the wall, and he just does this really big cloud of smoke, and I'm like, "Ooh, that looks cool." I said, "Hey, bro, do it again." He goes, "What? Do it again. I'm gonna get that shot." So I made him do it like 6 times. He goes, "I can't no more. No, one more. One more." So then I finally got the shot, and I sent it to my daughter. She was a senior at Azusa Pacific University in film school. And I said, check this out, I'm with Chicano Hollywood. That's where the name came from. No marketing, no brand, no nothing, just a joke. And she sends it back, she responds back, she says, hey, that's a cool name. I said, it's a cool name. So then I just nicknamed that group Chicano Hollywood. Tell my wife, hey, I got a meeting with Chicano Hollywood. Hey, we'll be on set with Chicano Hollywood. And from there,
So what do you call Chicano Hollywood? If I say, sum it up in one sentence.
Chicano, the mission is to platform the Chicano voice in every space of culture. And it's because our voice has always been overlooked, rejected, stereotyped, right? All those. And even within ourselves, some people they're Mexican American, but they don't like the term Chicano, right? to me, it's an empowering term. My grandfather was a field worker, came from León, Guanajuato. They migrated up to San Jose, right? Illegal, the whole whammy, right? And he's the first one, I remember, was on the strawberry fields in San Jose, and he gave me a patch, and he said, this is in the 60s, he gave me a patch, and he said, it said Chicano power. And he said, look, we're Chicanos. You know, don't forget that. And I remember, I wish I had it, but I freaking lost it. Probably threw it as a frisbee, right? But that was when it got in my mind, Chicano power. So to me, it's always been an empowering term. So when I say Chicano Hollywood, it's us, it's our voice. And now it's more than just Mexican American, it's the Salvadorans, Guatemalans, because we're all in the freaking same barrios. We're all low riding next to each other.
Yes, sir.
So it's a Chicano voice. And in Hollywood, there's been other traditional Latino voices and they become gatekeepers, and they've kind of held back our voice. They'll greenlight shows that aren't us. They recognize that there's 62 million Latinos, so out of the 62 million, 40 to 50 million are Chicano voice. The rest are not. And those guys became the gatekeepers. Now, shout out to all my other Latinos. I say it all the time. I'm not competing with anybody, but I just want to get us to where we should be because we were here first. That's it. In entertainment, in music, in tech, whatever it might be. Us as entertainers, because I'm a filmmaker, we're content creators, I want to get us where our voice is recognized, respected, understood, and that they see the power we have. Sometimes we don't recognize the power we have. We have $3.2 trillion purchasing power. So we're bigger than most nations around the world, just us together.
What do you think, in your words, is our biggest setback as a culture?
So one of the things that we haven't been able to do is unite around a movement, and I'm talking all Latinos, to support each other. The black community, right? Shout out to the black community, because those suckers, no matter what, they support it. They don't, you might be a politician that sucks, they're going to support it. It might be a movie that sucks, they're going to support it just because they're black. Because they have a common bond that's come because of social trauma.
Right.
Historically, slavery. In the 60s, the boomers saw their parents get hung or heard that they got hung. They saw the KKK. They suffered all that, the unjust, the
Segregation.
all the segregation, all that stuff. The boomers, when little kids, they witnessed that, right? So that generation has this bond, this traumatic bond, and because of that bond, it's like it can lock them all up. So they support each other no matter what because of that trauma. The Gen Xers, the black community Gen Xers, plus us a little bit too, when the first footage came out of Rodney King getting beat, it was rare that we were able to witness that kind of stuff because we didn't have social media like we do now. So all of a sudden now we're seeing this black man on the ground that was just trying to breathe, getting beat. And that again sent this shockwave of social trauma,
Right.
and it bonded the Gen Xers. It even connected some of us because we looked at that and said, whoa, that's not cool, you know?
Well, we actually have a song on the Hip Hop Locals album called Interrogated Because I'm Brown.
Yeah.
And that was on the Hip Hop Locals in 92, so it was right
It was right during that time, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you think about that time, it's kind of funny because it's not funny. I'm sorry, no, but it is kind of funny.
We get you.
Yeah. When the black community was out there rioting, what were we doing? Freaking, let's go in that store, getting TVs out and all that kind of
Same
stuff.
shit they doing in the 7-Elevens now. These kids.
Yeah. So, and what that shows that it didn't necessarily traumatically bond us. We took advantage of it as a community, right? At the same time, I've talked to, veteranos that were 18th Streeters, Maravilla, Florencia, whatever it might be. They also were telling me that the cops were coming after them too at the same time period, that same riot season. But when they would go after a rival gang, it wouldn't unite the two gangs to protest against the cops. They would be like, oh, wow, they got Florencia. Oh, wow, they got that gang or they got that gang, right? And we would step back and be like, oh, wow. So there was no bond versus if they went and they beat down someone in Compton or they beat down someone in South LA or wherever it might be, there was like, oh, they got another black guy down. And
Right.
so we don't have those common trauma events that connect us emotionally. Partly because we're Mexican American, we're Nicaraguan, we're already fragmented. So do we want those? We don't want those necessarily, but we have to kind of look and understand and be like, how do we support each other as Latinos? And we saw in Hollywood, Latino was put in a big bucket, and because it's put in a big bucket, there was a lot of misunderstandings. And other
What do you mean, what bucket? Like
the Latino bucket, basically. When you look at the studio system, all the networks and all the big dogs, right? They say, oh, this is Latin, Latinx, Latin A, whatever the term is. You guys are here. So if we're going to make a movie or a show to appeal to you, then you guys all have to eat this. So they're trying to give us plátano from the East Coast when we like bean and cheese tacos, or we like taco carne asada.
because they don't know what's going on up there.
They
That's
have
what
no
it is.
idea. To us, we're all brown. I mean, literally, I had one of the major 5 studios, one of the execs. He told me, he was actually mentoring me as I was starting this. He says, you know, Johnny, I'm going to be honest, and he's an old white dude. He was like 70 years old. He says, I'm going to be honest with you. Us old white people think that you guys just want Spanish and Univision. That's it. He says, you figured something out. He says, there's more people like you. I said, I'm American, bro. I was raised on the Brady Bunch and Happy Days. I'm American.
Hello,
right?
give me a bomba.
Yeah. So I didn't watch El Chavo del Ocho that much. I mean, I worked when my grandma was in town,
Bro,
right?
I watched freaking, I know you guys did too. Sanford and Son.
Yeah.
And Jefferson's came on after Jefferson. All
Jefferson.
black shows.
Yeah.
And then I would dip into my different strokes.
Different
and then that little rich fucker, Silver Spoon. What's his name?
Yeah. Silver spoons. Yeah.
Don't clip that. I said, then I dip into my different strokes. Hey, we put
Hidden
the
clip
clam over their way, all right? By JR.
By
I
JR.
have nothing to do with that no more.
But that's it though, right? So
Yeah.
we're raised American, and they put us in this big bucket. So okay, so you want English stuff? So then they start greenlighting shows that were not geared towards the majority of the 62 million. There's 62 million, so it's like they would greenlight shows that were only for a specific voice, and it was a very progressive Latinx type of voice, and those shows would get canceled.
Man, brother, I'm so glad you brought that up, because growing in that same era, I mean, the only Mexicanos we saw that were Americanized was Menudo.
Yeah, I know Menudo.
Remember?
Yeah.
And they crossed over. Fucking everybody was like, yeah,
Menudo.
like, you know, and even just, I mean, I'm gonna say it because I come from the rap genre, like Kid Frost and Mel, like it's like you hear them on the radio. That's one of us. Oh, he's rapping Spanish. Now we're on radio.
Yeah,
now we
yeah.
mate it. You know what I mean?
Well, those are pioneers. You guys were pioneers.
Thank you, bro.
I mean, you guys were, and it's honestly, if you, not to throw any regret and all that in your heart, but if you guys were coming out right now,
Yeah.
it'd have blown up all over the world. Even greater, because us as a voice is a lot stronger and a lot more accepted.
Yeah.
But you guys were underground. You're doing that, and you're building, scrapping through, and building and growing.
Trying to figure it out.
Yeah, you were pioneers, which and it always sucks being a pioneer because there's nothing out there. Or trailblazers because there's no trail. So you were following maybe Frost, maybe I don't know how your story was, but you guys were young, you were growing, and they weren't putting you on mainstream radio as much and stuff like that. You had to fight for that, right?
We did. Well, thankfully, we had Frost, we had Mello.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they already kind of paved the way for radio. So when it came to having the first group, they said, all right, here's 2 young kids from Southern California. What do you got? Oh, TJ Nice, Tijuana. All right, we'll put it on a bump it or dump it test.
Yeah.
Boom, we started from there. And that's where the seed grew.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, and I got to give it to Lowrider community, man. Lowrider Car Show, Lowrider Magazine.
Yeah,
Shout out to Larry Gonzalez and Albert. You know, they put us and took a chance to put us on that tour as youngsters. And we did the whole Southwest. And really, it was a Lowrider community.
That put you out
The
there.
Raza came
And that's
out,
what I'm saying. It's like
and
it
they
was
loved
through those channels, our own channels.
Yes,
It
facts.
was our own channels that we had to do it.
Agreed.
Now, I mean, again, I mean, you guys are still big all over the world, but if a similar group came out like now, it'd be like all over the place. People would be coming out to rep them and all that.
Right.
But you guys are the pioneers, though. So there's a pride you need to have because
Right.
you opened the door with for a lot of everybody else that's coming into it. You know.
Right.
I had this IG message today. This is today, where cool guy, veterano actor, Chicano actor, older man. He was making some comments about the young generation. My first instinct was to just like like respond negatively, but I thought, nah, this guy's paid his dues. So I let him know, these young kids are standing on your shoulders and other actors just like you. If you guys not have done what you've done, they cannot be doing what they're doing. So he hits me back, oh man, all this love, because he needed the respect, because they paid a price. You guys paid a price.
Yeah.
So now everyone else is standing on your shoulders, you know. Our mission as Chicano Hollywood is to get us where we should be. We were here first. I hate that we're not, you know, and maybe
We're also fair to say, we're also the bigger consumers.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Think
I mean,
about
you
it.
go to any show, black or white or Mexican, who's out in the crowd? I'm sorry. Get me if I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? Kings of the West. I was just there 2 weeks ago. It was us and a bunch of brothers on stage, pioneers, and mostly raza.
It's mostly raza. Even when it comes to movies, feature films, we are always, you know, we're 24% ticket buyers in theaters. We are always the profit margins. If we didn't have us, they'd be all going, negative.
Yeah.
But we bring in the profit. So think about that. So when we're talking about what's not uniting us, the moment we figure that out and we say we're going to unite, like the black community, like the Asian community, once we could do that, then it's like there's no limits. When it comes to music, merchandise, tech, no matter what it is, we can just lock up and blow up. And I think we're getting close. I really feel, and I say this all the time, the future's brown. I say the future's Chicano, but to include everybody, the future's brown.
I'm just so happy that going back to piggyback, we were saying back then, we had to kind of figure it out. We're going through the struggles. Everything was a flyer. Now you have social media posts, and now I think it's to the point where we're being heard. It's okay. On not the negative side, but it's everybody's being heard now because everybody's a rapper, everybody's a producer. The outlet's too easy to be put out there, which is great because there's more of us are out there. Yeah. It's easier because the tools are easier, and now it's BG AI, you know. But it also works in our favor because now we're being seen more and everything's more exposed, and it's showing the true light of who's behind, you know, the purchasing. Like I said, you're seeing
the demographics are coming out. Our purchasing power, our entertainment, when it comes to Chicano rap or whatever it might be, the audience is maturing in a way where it's no longer they're trying to be like the black community or anything like that.
Right.
It's like this is who we are.
Right. And
we have our styles, we have our genres, we have our stories. So more and more audiences are connecting with who we are. You hear the term coconut, right? I mean, some Chicano, Mexicano, Latino guy that thinks they're white.
Yeah.
A lot of people had to do that because it wasn't popular in some circles,
About it.
So a lot of quote unquote coconuts, they just wanted to be accepted. Shout out to all the coconuts. You guys got money now, so yeah.
And the Oreos.
Yeah. Shout out. You guys got money.
Oreos, I haven't heard the Oreos.
Yeah. It's funny because
I had to be a coconut to get the snowflakes sometimes. Right? All the winners, what's up from middle school?
So shout out to all them. But so many.
Yeah, dude. Give me some OP shorts and some bands.
OPs and bands, yeah, dude. I know. Remember that?
Y'all know about that.
So, but a lot of people in our generation had to embrace that, or they felt like the Chicano voice was so niche, or it was their dad or whatever. They just didn't want to connect with it, so they went way on the other side. Yeah. Then there's the rest of us that we stuck with who we are and we didn't change. And now though, it's like we're the cool kids.
Yep.
And that's
which explains the trends and the culture with the.
Oh, look at all these little. Look at the styles now. There's Chola is a style.
I was just talking to Chicana Smiles a couple weeks ago, and we have an interview on her. She's like, hey, these little people that are dressing like that, they got to be careful though because that comes with a price.
Yeah.
And yeah, man.
Well, that's a good point because they don't know that the price that had to be paid, that they had to pay. You have these old veteranos, right? I love some of the IGs. Like there's an IG I follow called Raised by Cholas and all that. I love all those people. They're freaking awesome. But you could tell they paid a price. And then you see all these young kids, boys and girls that are dressing like that, and like it's just fashion to you. Yeah. Which I'm okay with it. I think it's cool because it's like when we were young and I would wear my grandfather's clothes. He was a pachuco. right? And I would put on his zoot suit, you know. So
Yeah.
and he probably looked at me like, boy, it was just, you know, you don't know
Yeah,
the
that's
price
nice
I
to
had to
get out of
pay,
it.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it could be. So I see it. I don't have a big problem with it at all. But you're right, though. They cut up in the wrong barrio, and they're coming in with their fashion, and it's just fashion. It's not going to be good. You know?
It's almost like we're back in the 90s with Bloods and Crips. You know, you wear the wrong color or
Yeah,
red.
yeah.
You wear red, you can't wear red. You can't wear black. But you mentioned something earlier when you were talking about, I always go back to the La Bamba when Selena's dad's in the bus and he's saying how hard it is to be a Chicano or be expressed up there.
Mexican-American.
We're not wanted over here because we're not brown enough. We're not wanted over here because we're not white enough. And it's just tough, man. We got it hard.
And that's how, and you think about it, so that whole story was coming out in the 90s, right? That's how it was based out of that. But that's how it was. We weren't Mexican enough for the Mexicans, and we weren't American enough for the Americans. So we were this niche little community that we had no domestic social influence or presence. We were just these lowriders, these gang members, these troublemakers. That's all in East LA and in San Jose, whatever, in Watsonville, whatever. We were just, you know, El Paso. We're just these troublemakers.
Right.
Now we're almost like in vogue. We are a presence. We are like, my meeting earlier today, it was myself and two Chicano guys. Both these fools, I don't know if fools can, they both these dudes, they're my age. I know them now, but when we were younger, I have mutual friends that we partied together. So we, back in the younger days, cruising Story King, partying, blah, 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 like 80s, like I said earlier. But I looked at them, and one of them's an investor, so I'm pitching Chicano Hollywood for him to get behind and raise some money for us. And I said, well, remember how when we were young, I said how we were marginalized. I said, now we're the stronger presence. We're a voice now, and I went through my whole speech, right? And I said, but we're in a point now that we need to introduce to the world Chicano 2.0. I said, Chicano people have this idea, lowriders, cholos, that kind of stuff, right? Migrant workers, all that. But Chicano 2.0, and I said, now we're on a Zoom, but I said, it's you. I said, look at you. You're a multi-millionaire, and he's probably more than that. I said, you own a professional hockey team, right? You and I mean, he's in the big leagues, and he manages a lot of stuff like that. And then the guy that was with me, he's bringing him on as interim CEO. He's in the tech industry up in San Jose, and he helps tech companies raise money, right?
Okay.
I said, look at you. I said, the three of us used to party back in the day, and look at where I am now. So we are the Chicano 2.0. These are the stories that we need to tell. Our stories and who we are now, not these stereotypical ideas. And I told him, I'm down still with Blood In, Blood Out and American Me. You know, Boulevard Nights, right? Those are still my movies, and I'm always still down for a cholo comedy or Orchata with Oat Milk, right? But there's Chicano 2.0, professionals. Like you guys, we're professionals.
I remember, and that brings up, and I told the story as my claim to fame, but when Lighter Shade of Brown got invited to Sacramento, to the, out there, I was going to say the White House, the fucking Capitol.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, no, we're not there yet. That was easy. No, but I walked in, you know what I mean? I had my Lighter Shade of Brown hat, went up there to go receive an award, and they said, brother, you are being awarded today because Chicano Heritage Month, and to be the first Chicano part of heritage in the state of California to do what Sunday Afternoon has done, what you guys did, billboarded this, X, Y, and Z. And I remember going up the elevator and walking out, and I'm going towards the assembly room. And they're saying only so many people get to step foot in this room. He goes, you're doing that. And I look to the left. See a bunch of lobbyists over there all pissed off because they're trying to get into this, the senators and everybody. Because they're, what their job is to go wine and dine them. And they're just looking at me like, who is this freaking Mexican? What's going on? And I'm like, I'm strong.
Every stereotype that they had in their minds, they're running through you.
And it just reminded me, and I walked in there, man, and it was, I was up there and we were hanging with the Latino caucus, you know what I mean? All the way, all the senators, every county was in one building. And I shit you not. Afterwards, we're hanging out at the hotel, and we're in that lobby, and it's a circle just like this. And one of them grabs a speaker Bluetooth and throws on my jam, Latin Active. It's like, hey man, and there's like regular people. They're in those suits during the day, but at the end of the day, it's just like, yo, bro, They're telling me,
Big
I
code
grew up,
switch
you're
back
a
to the
big
barrio.
part of my college. When I was
Really?
coming up, every one of them, you had Orange County, San Diego, all the way up to, Sacramento. Every county was there. It was all Latinos. It was the greatest moment ever to be part of that, brother.
And
dope.
that's shout out to you guys because you really Latin Active it's kind of like a national anthem, right? I mean, it was a Latino anthem. There are other songs that could be put in that place too, but you guys, Latin Active was one that it would just inspire creativity and it would energize, right? It's like, okay, and it brought a pride.
Yeah.
Sunday afternoon, we just want to kick back, cruise at the park.
Chill.
Yeah,
That's
but
right.
Latin Active though, that just puts something in your mind where you're like, okay, this is who we are now.
I'm glad, yeah.
You put a vein of pride within every Latino. You guys did with that song. It's just amazing.
And you know who was the conceptor of all that? A black dude.
Wow.
Our manager,
Really?
Cliff Ritchie, who also discovered Rodney O. Joe Cooley, our brother Marquise, rest in peace, from Two Live Crew, and us.
There's something Chicano voice. It's black, Asian. It's not just Mexican American. Now some people don't like when I say that. I don't know what Chicano. Yeah, but there's a Chicano voice. We're in the same barrios. We're eating from the same taco truck. So there's blacks, there's Asians, there's whites that they're down with. Japanese. We're just talking about the Japanese, right?
Yeah.
Vietnamese. So our voice is now an international voice. It's being respected too. Now, there's a lot of room to grow still, but our voice is no longer what you guys had to push through. You guys had to break that stereotype to inspire lawmakers. Think about that. You broke that. You Frost, all you guys, you broke that. And now the next generations, now we are this accepted international culture, subculture that, and I say because of the stats, the data, the future's brown. So we, as not just Latinos, pero como Chicanos, we are the future. And this is data, not just me waving this flag.
Right.
But I don't care how many people are trying to kick out right now.
Right.
But we ain't going anywhere, right? And so our voice is, by 2050, our great-grandkids, well, my great-grandkids, your guys' kids, my great-grandkids are going to be in the majority.
Yes.
So that's why the pioneering that you guys did, all the other actors that they did, Danny Trejo, Eddie James Olmos, all these actors,
Isa Morales.
I
remember, man, I'm telling you, Vida Loca movie, we had 2 songs on that soundtrack, right? When that came out. And now it was 25, 30 years later, iconic, legendary. And you see all the girls and everybody. I had them all here on the couch. I'm like, we're shooting the memories back. And I'm going, remember this? Did you ever think that movie was going to do what it did? And they're like, no. And then they're just, but hood stars. You know what I'm saying? Chicano hood stars. Now, one thing I want to throw your way is, I know we're talking about Latin Active. And one of the issues that we had was going to radio on the East Coast, right? Was a lot of the smaller markets were like, yeah, we like the song, but I don't know about the title. Why? Because it has Latin in it, And couldn't you just maybe change it, call it Let's Jam? It's like, we're not changing, man. You know what I'm saying? So it was a big thing because they weren't ready for that. We're talking 90s. So
And what year was that?
this was when we were 91. So we're
East
trying to
Coast,
get played
right?
out there. This was East Coast.
Yeah, East Coast.
And the reason why we did Latin, which was my manager's concept, was like, because we wanted to cover Spaniards, Cubanos,
Cubanos, Puerto Ricans, all of them. Yeah.
And that's another conversation, but we were like, this is what it is, Latin activity, radioactive Latin activity. And it did well for us. But my question to you is my thought is if we did come out today, like you mentioned earlier, would we have called it Chicano activity?
I hope so.
Called it Chicano Hollywood.
Yeah.
How does somebody resonate to that if they're Cuban?
Yeah.
Or if they're Dominican? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I'm glad you asked that question because I've had couple people, high levels, tell me, well, Chicano, maybe you should call it Latino Hollywood. I said, no.
Yeah.
I said, no. I said, I'm Chicano. I said, well, to some people that word is derogatory. I'm like, I don't care. To me, it's empowering. I said, this is who we are. And this is, if I were to submitted to that and said, okay, we're going to rebrand and call it Latino Hollywood or something like that.
Yeah.
We would have just been some other group and it wouldn't be where it's at. But because I called it Chicano Hollywood, what it did, and I give credit to the Lord for this, it kind of woke up this sleeping giant. And people are like, you know what? Chicano Hollywood. Two power names. Hollywood influences the whole world. From the content that comes out of Hollywood, Chicano now is equal with those two words because we are and will influence the whole world. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to change it. I mean, even some people in my close team, well, maybe we should rebrand. I say, heck no. Heck no. We're Chicano. So if you guys were to come out with it right now, let's say I just met you guys, you're young kids, and I'd be like, no, man, name Chicano. but again, I'm always like, but let's make a good business decision for what's going to work for you. Chicano is a brand that's a movement, and I wish I could say I intended for this to be a movement. I did not. It was intended by God. I just thought it was cool.
I think you're absolutely right. I mean, it's good that you're doing exactly what you want to do because you can, first and foremost. When we had Drop Latin Active in the original, and I've seen some people catch on to this, Teardrops part, we had to switch a word. You know, she goes, Latina, taking over the microphone and putting it in place. That used to say, the original version said Chicana.
Oh, wow.
It did say Chicana. But I think it was the label made us switch it because, again, we were trying to cater broadcast.
What was the derogatory stereotype that we had in the 90s when you guys were doing that? Chicanos were cholos, gang members, boulevard rights. You know,
Yeah.
I love Danny De La Paz, he's my homie, right? So, but they had these stereotypes. So your label said, maybe, I don't know, but for whatever reason, they said, no, that term to them was still derogatory. But that's why we're redeeming it, you know? How can I have this tech giant and this investing giant in front of me today that were both Chicanos, they're both lowriders back in the day, now they're Chicano 2.0, talk about redeeming that. Where the stereotype that their kids have of them, my dad's a freaking multi-millionaire, my dad does this, my dad does that. So it's changing. All the people around them that know them, when I mention one guy's name, they're like, oh, you know him? I say, yeah, I just got off on Zoom with him. Oh, wow. You know, they get tripped out because he's the guy's so powerful in that world. But he was a lowrider, man. He was cruising Story King like I was back in the day. So we're redeeming the term Chicano.
I want to pass this over to Bella because Bella is very, you know, in tune with the Chicano of today, the culture and study. You study a lot of that, right? Aren't you taking classes or?
I want to major in Chicano studies.
Let's talk about all those Edgars. What's up with that?
How we throw it in
I
your
haven't
lab,
studied the
your
Eggers. I
generation.
can't tell you that.
Here we go.
Chicano phenomenon right now.
You know? And the gold earrings in the hair. He goes, I'm playing.
I'm like,
Listen.
I'm today's era right now, huh?
Like the Chicano ringmaster. But yeah, what's your take on you hearing this? Two older heads and
I know.
in today's society, you know, does it kind of resonate with you at all?
It resonates, and then it also just makes me think of kind of looking back, kind of what I've learned of how he says that it's an empowering word. It's empowering to me as well, because I look back at the history and can be proud of it. But you look back and through the 60s and 70s, how it, as a time that we were together as a proud group, I don't know how to say, movement, and then it kind of died. They lost that through the 80s.
Like the unity?
Yeah, in the 80s and 90s, and so then it kind of, Chicano wasn't as powerful during that time, and I feel like now it's coming back. The culture is being, how do I say, like, it's being embraced at the top level, like how we're looking at the culture as just a style into its roots. I want to dig more. For me, on my journey, I want to dig more into the roots to understand it. But I see why a lot of people just stop at the culture in the fun parts.
Yeah, the one side
The
of
style, hitting up a car
Superficial.
show. There's so much history in all parts of our culture. So, but I see why people are stopping here.
I know people that are just, like even up in my, you know, older years, I didn't, like, what's Chicano? Who can qualify as a Chicano?
Yeah.
Is it just Mexican American?
Yeah.
In
Or
some
is it,
answers, yeah.
you know?
In some answers, no. I've heard from people that like in Books for Cooks, I have a Salvi member, and she's like, I say I'm a Chicana because Chicanismo is an identity, and it's what you grow up into, not necessarily your blood if you are Mexican American. She's like, I have grown up in that Chicano lifestyle, in the barrio, and everything that comes with that. So she's like, I identify as a Chicana.
Yeah, it's the same with Elvira. She runs Chicano Elegance. She's Peruvian. She's raised in the barrio. She's Peruvian. So she goes, I'm a Chicana, you know? So, and she has Chicana Elegance, and it's a big fashion show, and we're going to New York in June to do it over there. So it's a voice, it's an identity, and I know some people are like hard on it. No, you got to be Mexican American. I get that, you know, but there's also, like I said earlier, we were raised in the same barrios. You know, we're cruising.
Chica comes from, not Chica, but Chicano comes from the root. There's a root word for it. And I'm not educated, obviously, on it, but it
Yeah, you're going to have to answer that one.
Chica, well, Chicanismo, but there is Chica, like being smaller.
Yeah,
So
I've heard
smaller.
like different. There's like the Chica thing, the like one that had something to do with the pig. Then it was Mexica, all the Aztec terms, right? So yeah,
That was it.
yeah. So
I've heard different
there's
things
different
too.
ones. So there's enough to the point where I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it no more. I'm Chicano. You know,
That's it.
But everyone has like their
Yeah.
different, like the roots here, the Aztecs here.
Bro, and
you
they
know, this
come for
area,
your
you
ass.
know.
They'll be up on social media.
Oh yeah. I'm sure right now on YouTube they're commenting.
Nah,
You know,
food is what it means.
yeah. I'm sure put the truth
And
up.
that's cool.
there.
Like some people know, and if you don't know, then educate. Don't be putting down. It's like the same shit like with the no sabos. Like they're coming hard at the no sabos, but it's like, fuck, man, like just let them fucking learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the
if they
thing about
want to,
I think I
shit.
laugh at that because honestly, my I'm fluent because of grandma, but my mom, she was born in Mexicali. They were
mom was?
taught, they were taught to speak English. That's how it was. So
They used to get hate in school.
yeah, they had to. So she would teach us. She would talk to us in Spanish. We had to learn English. So English is my first language. But of course, grandma come every time, and
Yeah.
she would live with us, and I
go-
learned all the cuss words, obviously, right?
That goes back to what we were saying earlier. Back in our days growing up in the 80s, 70s, it was frowned upon if you spoke Spanish.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
at the workplace, my mom, that's all she spoke.
So now you have
English.
all these no sabes. It's because their parents probably didn't know either. You know.
Yeah.
So
But
have
then
some mercy on them.
She'd come home and speak the Spanglish and bad words in
Yeah,
English.
yeah.
You know, to me.
Yeah.
Ándale, cabrón, go clean your room.
Yeah. We all know those words, right? Yeah. And my grandma taught me all the bad words too. Pero, I am fluent, but I became fluent in growing, not because that was my first language, because my grandfather told my mom
Embedded it,
to.
yeah.
I mean, it was all in there. So it was part of the social negative pressure that they had to go through. So
Yeah.
I'm always like a little bit more mercy on them because
I have mercy too because I feel like looking back from my own evaluations that each generation kind of goes through like a sense of pride and then a sense of like resistance. Like in the 60s, they were assimilating. They're being named more like white names.
Yeah.
And then in the 70s, they found pride again. The 80s, they took a backseat to it again. The 90s, you found pride. Up until right now, we're finding pride in it again. So it does that.
Oh,
That's
I'm
Like
laughing.
my bank account.
Mood.
Up and down.
Yes.
401k.
I'm laughing because my name is Johnny Lee. My freaking crazy
Johnny
mom.
Lee?
She named me after some country singer, and I'm like, who the heck is that? you
Johnny
know?
Lee?
Johnny Lee. That's my name. And she goes, oh, I saw Gone with the Wind. I thought I'm gonna name him some country name. So totally gave me a white name, right? I mean Juan Lilo. I could go with that because my grandfather was Odilon.
Juan, yes,
But I have to make
Juan
it.
Lilo.
Yeah. I have to make it work.
Lilo.
So I agree with you. The no sabes, I have mercy on them, but I kind of draw the line. I think they all need to learn how to make tortillas de mano.
Straight up.
I mean, I'm just saying, but no.
Wouldn't
Just
hurt.
kidding, forget
No,
you.
I got you.
I got you. Yeah.
I just think you to know yourself.
My daughter, she's probably listening. She's like, "You're dumb. What'd you say that for?"
She's like rolling her eyes.
She's Gen Z. She's Gen Z educated, all that stuff. So she's like with it, So
So I want to jump into horchata with oat milk.
Yeah.
And you mentioned it briefly earlier that you started the idea in 2020 during the pandemic, a little after that.
yeah, John Doe from The Watch and LV, it was their idea, their concept. A lot of it based on John's life. So the way it comes, they had COVID, so they're quarantined and they work together. So they're on their phone together, probably like Marsha Brady and Jen Brady separated, right? They're on the phone together and they're throwing ideas around. Let's make a movie. So then they put their thoughts together, give it to Jeff Reyes, Echoes World. Jeff hits me up. Hey, can you turn this to a script? So I got all of their ideas. I mixed some of my concepts into it as a writer, because the story is about a man that when he was a boy in the 90s gets locked up, back in there locking everybody up, especially us, right? 20 years later, he gets out, goes back to the barrio that he was raised in, and it was Frogtown here in LA, and it's all gentrified. So no longer a taco shop, now it's a donut shop. No longer cholos, now it's hipsters, but they're wearing the same thing, right? Flannels and that kind of thing. So it's a whole different world now. And he meets up with another former gang member, the one that got him in prison, and they have some crazy fun times, right? So it's a comedy.
Is he trying to learn like the new world,
Yeah. He's out, and I got that from my little brother when he got out, right? He did a 23-year stretch, and he's out, and he. We got him a smartphone, and he's like, okay, what's Facebook? And he's learning, right? So there's a lot of fun stuff that we're able to implement inside there where, life changed. So now his whole neighborhood is gentrified. They're about to lose a house. All these white people are coming in to take the house, all that.
Which is, guys, if you're not from California, it's the real deal.
Yep.
You go to, what is it, Echo Park, you go to...
Silver Lake.
Corona.
Silver Lake.
Yeah, Corona now.
Corona.
Yeah.
Corona. Oh, yeah, they made an extra lane now on 6th Street.
Yeah.
It's all getting gentrified. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's
The
the
swap meet. They
gentrified.
took out the swap meet and put the metro
Yeah.
apartments.
Wow.
We call it gentrified Corona.
Used to be.
Yes.
Yeah, Riverside's getting all big old facelift too, right?
Yeah. Downtown is
So gentrification, and that's another hot topic, man. Is it good or is it bad? To some people, it's bad. But again, I go back to my mom. She bought her house in 1974 for $16,000. One bedroom, one in a little room. Just that's it. Little nasty farmhouse. It was the original farmhouse of that area. 16 grand, 1974. When she retired, she sold it in the late 90s for over $1 million. You ask her, and it's because of Google and tech. It went from a farming community, San Jose, to a tech community, Silicon Valley.
Oh, wow.
So to her, I remember laughing. I said, what do you feel about gentrification? Andale. So, so freaking millionaire.
Cash me out.
Yeah. So everybody.
No, none of this tonight.
I know. So everyone in our little barrio, the ones that bought their homes, so there was the Gonzaleses, two doors down, there was a Dolores, her family across the street. The ones that bought their homes, they all cashed out and they did well. But then the ones that rented, they were forced out and moved out to Modesto and Manteca and the Central Valley, right out in that area. So is gentrification good or bad? It just depends. Everyone has a good or bad story. So, sometimes you don't like it.
I don't know, man. I have different mixed feelings. When I see something that's, there's, excuse me, guys, here in the IE, there's shit that to me just don't make no damn sense. Like that bridge on McKinley that they built.
Yeah.
That shit took for over a year or 2 years.
Not even done yet.
Like it's still not done. No, it's
still
done.
not done. The bridge on McKinley?
Yeah, it's up.
It's done. It's up.
Both sides?
Yeah.
Over it, yeah.
They just
But on
built
the other
this
side too?
bridge for the train that goes through there or whatever, and all they
They're still
did was
working
this
on
little
it.
bridge so the train doesn't. And then that shit took 2 years, but it was the biggest headache because that's like the biggest, most traffic in Corona. Well,
sure
that
it's-
side of Corona.
10 times over the budget and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
like really?
Yeah, that's called political.
Fix these roads here.
Yeah,
man. Like I'm getting.
That's called
potholes.
political
Put some
corruption.
lights in El Cerrito.
All them lobbyists you're talking about in Sacramento, that's where that comes in. Someone paid someone to give someone a contract, and what do we do with it? Let's build a bridge. Okay.
It makes sense if, like, for example, one of my buddies up, he lives in, he's from the Corcoran area, and he's a senator. No, I always get his title wrong. Don't come for me, Richard. But anyway, he's on the board or whatever, councilman. Hopefully that's right. No, he ain't governor. Chill, president. Chill. No, but anyway, he's the one that went. He went with me to Sacramento to get the award, and that day he actually asked for some money because there's for a bridge in his. But there's a highway going where kids have to run across.
Yeah,
like
then it makes
chickens.
sense.
Then
Yeah.
that makes sense because up there, those roads.
Yeah,
These kids got to, book it. So that made sense.
That whole area, Hanford, that whole area, that makes sense. Yeah,
Bro,
So it's a thing. It happens. The corruption is part of it too. But I'm not saying that bridge was. But either way, change happens, and it has to happen in communities as well. You can't. We're not living in the old Adobe, brick things that were here 400 years ago
Right.
when this was our territory, all
It
that.
just-
No one's
yeah.
gonna do that, you know. So we're so different now, right? We don't, this beautiful studio and then your home. I mean, we are the whole Chicano 2.0. We want better things, right?
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to live in my same mom's house that had that little shack and nothing done except
Yeah.
I did the whole roof one time because she called me up. Hey, pendejo, come over here, it's leaking. So I had to go over there and bring a crew and redo her whole house, right?
Yeah.
But she, but I couldn't imagine living in that house anymore. It's so small. So we don't want that anymore. We want to grow. We want to expand. You want to give your kids bigger things. So
Absolutely.
and part of that is the victims of growth and resistance is, let's name it something. When it comes to neighborhoods, like what's gentrification? These people are coming in. It sucks. I don't like it either, but some of our raza are really making some coin out of it, So it is what it is,
When does the movie drop? When does it come out?
So
Is it out already?
immediately after that,
I should probably know this question. Don't come from me.
yeah, immediately after that, the premiere we had the other day, the exec producers, the ones that own it.
We got some photos of that. I think courtesy of Bella. Bella, you actually went to the premiere, right?
I got to go.
yeah.
Thank you, Jeff, for inviting me.
Yeah,
Damn.
that was such a fun night,
Look at that.
man.
Oh shit, that's my TV probably, or is that?
No, that was just like the clip. I gotta play it again.
Yeah, that was such a fun night. Everyone on there, it was right after COVID. We were all happy to be on set again. The audience was packed. There was probably 400 or 500 people there. What was cool about it, like when the cast pulled up in a lowrider, right? A couple lowriders, and the outside when they pulled up, they stopped that Lancashire. They just stopped traffic, and one of my guys, Alberto, caught some video. He came to me right away and he said, "Hey, let's put this up like right now." So I'm like, "All right, let's do it." So he gives it to me. I'm putting it on IG, and I said, "Where should I put the caption?" And he goes, "Put Chicano is the new Hollywood." I said, "Oh, that's cool." So I put that Chicano is the new Hollywood because you had like Dunos, you had Concrete, you had Anthony Fernandez, you had Jay Valentino, Jerry Garcia, and all the others were just packed in those two lowriders, and the energy was so freaking amazing. It's like there was almost an epiphany moment. We're like, you know what? Hollywood right now is decentralizing. It's literally studio level is being spread all over the world.
Yeah.
And there's way less jobs here for the studio level. We are still here. We ain't going nowhere. So we are actually going to be able to come into a prominent place as creators. So Chicano, to me, is the new Hollywood because the old Hollywood is getting redefined.
Yep.
And they're going to Budapest, they're going to Ireland, they're going all over the place. But then you have us as entertainment professionals, podcasters and actors and comedians that are really stepping up.
Yeah.
Stepping on shoulders, artists stepping on your shoulders because you put them up.
Yeah.
Actors stepping on, Eddie James Olmos, Danny Trejo, Mario Lopez, all these guys have been putting
I'm
in
so
the time.
happy to see that because even with the comics, like I see, I just remember vividly, let's just go back to 2000 when I was in radio and I first started and I would bring out, the Gabriel Iglesias, the Jeff Garcias, the Rudy Morenos, rest in
Rudy,
peace,
yeah.
and Gilbert Escavels, and these guys would just come like the Que Locos era, and they would come light up the spot, and there was a handful of them. It wasn't a lot, but now you got a lot of these more and more cats on film, which is dope, and they're produced by Chicano.
Yeah, and that's
what's dope.
There's a really cool era now. Mario Lopez just started his own comedic show. What's it called again? El Way or something like that, right? Can't Wait, something like that. And he's getting all, Latino as a whole, but, all the Chicano guys up there on the stage and all. It's kind of like the old Latin Kings of Comedy type of thing. So he's doing a show once a month, I think. Across the nation, though, that's the thing. This is here in LA, obviously a big hub. But across the nation, when I travel out, you'd be amazed at how many people call and they'll come to our mixers or come to our meet and greets, and they're like, "Man, I've been following you guys. I want to be a filmmaker. I want to be a director, or I am a videographer. I am an artist." And they're feeling the empowerment as a collective because everybody feels like, okay, this is my time. There's no barriers like what you had to face or what others had to face, right? Those are gone even mentally, So now there's like a sense of unity. That's why it's a movement. There's that sense of empowering, and we feel it the most here in LA because we're here. But the guys in Chicago, man, they're kicking out content. They're and they're all Chicanos, right? And then it's funny too because here in LA, I'll say Chicano, but I'll go like if I have a mixer outside. The black community comes together, the Asian community comes together. So I'll be like, Chicano, people of color. Because I want to make them feel included, right? So,
watch out. Next week, they're going to be Asian Hollywood.
Yeah, I know. So I want them, and they'll tell, hey, I'm not Chicano. I said, no, it's part of it. So if you're one of us, you're one of us. And I train anybody if they want to come and learn. So I see it, though, where there's within us as a community that we're becoming these social leaders and social influencers as a community, not just like an individual influencer, but the tide is rising for a lot of us and for us as a whole. So when it comes to the other demographics in America, there's almost like this nod of like, whoa, who are these guys, And they're looking at the Chicano 2.0, the businessman, the artist, and they're like, oh, who are these guys? And it's really empowering because we're not we're still struggling, obviously, right? There's still a struggle no matter what, but we're not in that derogatory struggle anymore.
Right. We got corporate behind our own behind desks who know what the hell's up because they came from the same streets. Not going up against, like you said, the ones that were saying, you made a comment earlier about, we were talking about, back in the 90s, 80s, how there was only two, Univision and
Telemundo. Yeah, and we're not Spanish speakers, although I'm Spanish, but we're primarily, first language English. Yeah, we do both. But when it comes to entertainment, we could do both, but some of us, the majority of us, lean English. So that's the niche that Hollywood has not understood. That's why that guy told me from this, he actually was one of the execs from Paramount, and he says, I'm telling you, I've been in this business for X amount of years, he's retired now. He says, I'm telling you, you found something that we did not know. He says, put your pedal down on this,
That's so awesome. I remember in like 2005, I've shared the story again and again, going back to my radio days. When I got hired at Kiss FM in LA, we would sit in our meetings, right? Once music meetings, and the program director was Cavacho, and he would say, and they were trying to go more Hispanic. They said Hispanic leaning. He said, so if you get a winner, pronounce her name. If her name is Maria, say Maria. Even if you don't know Spanish, say with an accent. Literally tell us that. And it was just me and like the other like Mexican Americans got in the room, and then it was like all the other jocks were white. But say Maria. And it was like, is this really going down right now?
Did you say Kiss FM Los Angeles?
Yes. Yes, that was another one.
Fucking
Say
run
Los
it
Angeles.
That's right.
And they loved, who was it? Alicia Del Valle. She was on, she came from radio, and she went into the news, and her and I got to get her back on the pod, but
she's another pioneer, man.
She has her story. She has her stories.
She's from radio?
From a female, yeah.
I've seen her like MC shows. Not MC.
Yeah.
Like host shows.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know her background.
Yeah.
Very into the culture as well, community. I remember, she was working on the promotion side when I was on air, but she was working her way up, and then next thing you know, she got on Channel 7. I think she was doing weather.
Yeah, weather and
ABC,
but
she was always out there because you're from Whittier, and she was always at the parades representing her flag and down, head Dodger girl, like yourself. Right. So I told her we got to work on that. But
yeah, she
I'm playing. No, but she's diehard.
She's pioneered. Yeah. She's pioneered a lot.
Okay,
so
cool.
yeah.
So it's people like that have, like you said, if especially for the Latinas, man, and they can definitely give us another side of that side of Hollywood too.
Yeah.
Oh
man,
that we haven't
crazy
already heard under the sun. Well, I see some yellow over there.
We got a nice little super chat from Mega Man 6980, little $9.99 throwing it down. He said,
What's
shout out
up?
to Chicano Hollywood and the Blockout Podcast.
What's up, Mega Man? We are live. Who else is in the chat?
It's me, Angie V was tapped in. We got people saying happy birthday to Bella.
Hey.
We got Echo's World.
Echo,
What's
the
up, my
homie.
guy? I've been trying to get him on the pod too, and we're gonna probably line that up in the next 2 weeks. I was trying to figure out because you do the names. Okay, so Jay Leyva, right? He's the
Chris Leyva. Chris Leyva is the
I'm sorry.
director. Yeah, amazing director.
And then you're one of the writers, which right? I just
Oh,
or the concept.
Yeah, yeah. I wrote. So yeah, they had the idea. I wrote it out, and I'm super honest about this because
Okay.
they. So I'm quote unquote the writer, but the magic of that story came from John, the executive producer.
Got it.
From LV, and then the talent. Well, I mean, there's no way you could write anything for Concrete. He just brings it. You know, he brings it.
Yeah.
Jerry, they just bring it. Dunos, I mean, they just bring it. So all I could do is I could say, yeah, I put this thing together, and then when they were shooting, you know, Chris would always allow them. And you have to do this with comedians. You got to give them, let them. How would you do it, right? And they would just do it. So that it's a very funny movie. But I can't say like I wrote the jokes. No.
Yeah.
I wondered if you wrote the joke.
Yeah, no, I you could. There's some parts that I know. Okay, I wrote that. You know, but you know, I mean,
With comedians, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
the other
can
part.
you imagine somebody? Hey, Eddie Murphy, man, I need you to do this.
yeah,
Gotta
yeah,
say
yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Say
Somebody
this
asked me.
punchline.
Someone asked me today. Said, "Can you do that again?" So yeah, I can do that again, but I'll probably have to hit them up. Hey, what would you say right here, bro? Okay. But they wrote the jokes, and the magic of that movie is the collaboration, and that I think that's probably the number one lesson I want to teach with that movie is that when you come together, you can do something amazing, and you know when our raza comes together, you can create something like that. It could be funny, it could be dramatic, it could be whatever. But the collaboration that we all had, there was no pride, there was no egos. You know, I mean, when I would see the changes, like I didn't care as a writer. Somebody's trip on that,
And the cast already tours with each other. So
oh man, yeah,
they
and then
get along.
out of that, you know, I think I can't say for sure. I know they knew each other, but I think they became closer on that set. And out of that set, you'd be amazed. So number one is Chicano Hollywood launched out of there, right? So to me, it's like that was the birth. I told Jerry Garcia, right? We had Jerry Garcia on our podcast, and I said, Orchata with Oat Milk was the womb, and all you guys were like all the little sperms that were running, and that's how, you know.
Remind me that when I say Concrete, to call him a little sperm. Jay Valentino, he fished the sperm.
Yeah. So, all you guys were the little sperms, and then that's what the birth of Chicano
And Duno's
Hollywood.
the big worm. Big sperm.
So they out of there,
What up,
you
Duno?
know, Chicano Hollywood came out.
We need to push.
And then also Anthony Fernandez, shout out to that guy. He right now, I remember when we saw his audition, I'm like, man, this guy's good. Right now he's the Modelo man, right? So he's like the Marlboro man, but now he's doing all these Modelo commercials. So his career took off, Concrete's career, Jerry's career, all these guys just freaking blew up, you know? So it's a cool to look back on. That's where we were all together working on this micro budget, you know, scrappy little guerrilla filmmaking thing.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, there was one point we had to hide behind some gates because either Film LA or someone. I remember they saying, go behind the gate, you know, because COVID had just ended. So we didn't have a whole lot of permission. So we were just out
How
there
long
doing
did it take to shoot the movie?
The first segment of production was, I believe, 11 days. Then they did, if you remember the scenes with the kids, they did all those reshoots after. So like all the kid scenes, I think John wrote all that stuff, you know. So, but which I love that they added that. I mean, when you see the movie, that kid part is just amazing. Those actors are great. But so probably I would guess, and Reyes Ecclesworth can confirm because he was there in all of it. Maybe I would guess maybe 16 days total, maybe.
You shot a movie in 16 days?
Oh yeah, dude.
Bro, times have changed, bro.
4 years.
4 years for what? What I missed?
4 years.
Yeah, then there's that.
16 days and edited in 4 years.
Post production was 4 years. Yeah, it was good timing. It was all planned and strategic because now all these guys are bigger, you know.
Yeah.
Which if we'd have brought it out way back when, they're still, you know, I think Concrete at the time had maybe a couple $100,000. Now he's in.
Oh,
like
you shot
over $1
this 4
million.
years ago.
4 years ago. It's old. Yeah, we shot it it was right after COVID. I mean, COVID. I think in March 2021, and that's when COVID restrictions were still a thing. On that set, I was the COVID producer guy. Where when movies were happening, I immediately got certified so I could be the COVID guy on our own sets, so that we could shoot. Because some of those COVID fools were like, "Oh, don't touch, 6 feet apart." I remember on that one, I told Reyes, I said, I'm certified, so put me as a COVID guy. But if you guys get sick, it's on you because I'm looking.
Yeah.
So that party scene when we did the party, I'm like, I'm not looking, I don't care. You know, we're all messing fun. So I gave us freedom to do what we do, you know. But
Awesome.
but I did that just for ourselves. So COVID, I'm just lying. I'm lying.
Entertainment purposes
Entertainment
only.
purposes, yeah.
No,
but-
they were serious on set about COVID. I shot the 7-Eleven commercial during that time, and they made us sit.
Were you in that similar with the Lord? No way.
Yeah.
I love that commercial.
Thank you. We had to sit on our breaks and tables of 2 with masks, and there was a table like between us. Like we were like so separated, and they would make us sit like chairs like this, kind of like really spread, and would keep our mask on. But we had to have our makeup done, so our makeup kept getting trashed.
Right.
And then they'd have to keep fixing it. But they would come around if we'd be in like a little group, like if we all huddled, they'd come and break us up. You're like, no, you guys have to separate. It was like
That's how hard they were, right? So
yeah.
that's why I got certified. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah,
You guys
good.
get sick, it's on you, you know? So
Right.
we produced. I mean, no, I'm just kidding. I didn't say that, but I did. Yeah.
So did we say where the name came from? Orchata with Oat Milk?
So there was another name. I don't know. And what do we call it? I think I called it Flacco and Chunks is what the original name was.
Flacco and Chunks?
Yeah, Flacco and Chunks, right? But I think that was, I don't know who came up with it, either Chris, LB or John, someone, maybe it was I don't know, one of us did. But then I could be wrong on the story, Reyes, you could correct me because I don't remember, but I think LB and John, the exec producer and the director, were actually getting Orchata in San Diego, I think. And they ordered Orchata with oat milk. And I think it was John, the exec producer, that came up with the name.
That was it.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, this inspiration from Orchata with
Did
oat
he get
milk.
oat milk because he's lactose?
Yeah, totally. He's a very healthy guy, very healthy. So he got oat milk. Yeah. I can't stand that stuff.
That sounds like
I don't
me.
regular Orchata.
Yeah.
I don't like oat milk.
With my matchas, I'm a matcha dude
Even if you're
now.
lactose, you gotta get it regular.
Yeah.
Green matcha with the brown sugar?
Watch out.
Ooh, watch out.
Nah, it's like a
Tastes like hay though.
it's a matcha. It's like a tea, but yeah, green matcha.
My daughter loves that stuff, and I would taste it. It feels like I'm eating hay. I don't know why. Yeah.
I want to say though that I really enjoyed it. I love the meaning, like the message behind it, but it was so funny because it's like Concrete, Duno, Jerry, they're all so funny. So just to see them to act also, then other than just like their stand up or like their videos and stuff, it was really good.
Yeah, no, they are
They
amazing
did a really good job.
actors. You know, I look at I think it was John, the exec producer, asked me the other day, "Who's your favorite actor?" Or on our podcast, we had Kool-Aid, and she said, "Who's your favorite?" I love them all. And they all do amazing. I think when John asked me, I said the character was Spider, because there's a point in there when he's like, "Okay, you need to whistle," and then what's his name says he does 2 whistles and goes, "I think I like the second one." Yeah, and it's just
Alex
so
too.
funny.
Alex is
Yeah,
freaking,
just so.
Alex
Oh yeah,
is
and
so
Alex.
funny.
Yeah, he's another
so
one.
Funny.
So it's hard to pick because they're all so funny. So I think on that pressure, I picked Anthony. But then Kool-Aid on our podcast the other day, she said, you got to pick one. You can't pick them all. So I think I leaned into Concrete because he does his character, his role. But he, to me, and I say this all the time, he probably gets pissed, but I say he's like the Chicano Bill Murray. And you just, when you got him on set, you're not going to know what you're going to get, but it's going to be amazing, And he's so versatile. He does comedy, plus he does drama. Right? He just came off a set with Mario Lopez. They're doing, I think it's a Christmas drama, and he plays a fireman or something like that. So, yeah,
They're so good.
Yeah. That is a big franchise that can really grow.
Check. Does this work? One of them works? So I get you into your podcast, which is my next. By the way, did we give the date it came out again? I didn't hear the release date for it. Where can we watch it?
They're negotiating right now. We did that was a private screening.
Okay.
Per se. So it was a private screening we made a big deal about. So now they're getting just hit up from big distribution companies because they heard about it. And so I don't know what decision they made or where they're at with it. I hope they do at least a limited theatrical release.
But for now, they can at least watch the trailer, or if they haven't seen the trailer.
I think if you go to orchatawithoatmilk.com, I think they're doing a first round private release, and there's a fee there, and I think April 20th, 4/20. So you got to be a little high.
I'm not getting closer to you.
No, it's okay.
I just want you to
That's
think.
Easter.
Yeah. Well, it is. That's also Easter, huh? That's a holy day. So, anyways, so it's a holy day. It's also 4/20, and it's going to be on their website. So, orchatawithoatmilk.com. pre-order it, you can be able to watch it. I think on 420.
There it is.
That was the last thing that I heard. So
Horchata with oatmilk.com. I want to bring in one of your hosts right now.
Yes.
The host of the Chicano Hollywood. I know this guy over here. Is that Michael? We got JR. I remember from JR and the crew.
That's right, JR and the crew, man.
What's up, brother?
It was a privilege to have you come on, man. Right when you got let go.
It's not on?
it's not on.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, man.
I don't know. There's a couple of them here. Check. This one work?
Hello,
One of them's got to work.
hello.
Hello.
So we'll get a mic working.
While they're doing this tech, I'll be entertaining everybody.
Hold on.
So we do
you tell
have
we're
some
live?
other business models. I'm just entertaining the crowd. So you guys go ahead and do your thing. We have some other things
Just leave it
coming
on the
up.
white. It's cool. Leave it on the white.
Chicano Hollywood Film Festival is
Let's
coming
get the
up.
mic going.
July 17, 18, 19. We have a special surprise on the 18th, so keep that in mind.
Promote it.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a big surprise. We'll make a big deal about it. Mexican American Film Festival is coming up. That's going to be April 26th and 27th. And then in Las Vegas, for our Las Vegas people, we have a training at the Dolores Huerta Center over there. We actually get an office space over there, so in Las Vegas. And then what else? We're going to Chicago in June. So we're going to be doing a training over there. So also Napa Valley. We will be in Napa Valley on Thursday, this coming Thursday. No, I'm sorry, Wednesday. On Wednesday with Winefulness. Go to Winefulness on Instagram. We'll be there having a mixer with all these Latino winemakers in Napa Valley. And then Thursday we'll be in San Jose.
Bro, you're like
Are
the
we good?
Chicano Chat GPT.
I know, bro.
I'll just say, hey, go. What do I have next week?
I know, I just went-
the ODM. You're
Into
gonna be
like
here.
crowd mode.
I just while you guys are doing this, I was trying to keep the crowd occupied.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Or else they went to get popcorn or use the restroom. I'm like, no, we're
Oh,
here.
how do you remember all those dates? I'm like, just go to the website. You'll see where we're gonna be at. I don't even know what I ate last night, man. But back over to JR. So JR, what do you go by JR on the Chicano podcast?
JR still, yeah.
Just
JR.
JR.
No, yeah, I met you guys. Met you at JR and the crew back
Yeah.
in the day and stuff. You came on and stuff, and it was amazing, man. It was amazing to have you on and stuff, and then built a relationship with you after that, and then, but been on and off with Johnny doing Chicano Hollywood stuff. And
day one. You know, you always have day ones, and then
We really met at my old house. I know we were
your
saying
old
off
house
air.
back in the studio, yeah.
Back in the studio. I mean, we're talking. What was that?
I was expecting to go back to that house, but I saw this one. I was like, oh, wow. This is really nice. Upgraded from over
Well, I
there.
sold that house, and that's how I got this.
Yeah, it was
That's
dirt
how-
road over there. I had to go to the back.
Yeah. You see Freaky Freddy on the 10 speed? You know, no more whistles over here. No, we were coming up.
gentrification.
It was crazy.
No, bro, but yeah. So that was. I think you were doing production or something like that, right back then. Or?
Yeah, I started the podcast because we were doing production. Hollywood shut down.
Yeah.
And so we had a lot of gear. So we were like, hey, let's start a podcast. So we started a podcast.
Yeah.
And it's funny because when you guys said, I was a COVID monitor too on set. Yeah.
Actually, I couldn't remember.
I was a COVID monitor. I had to check everybody. We had to do a test every 2 days.
Yeah.
Swab them and everything.
Oh, they meant like piss tests. Or
That
Well,
too.
that's what they you're supposed to do these things in your nose, and I'd get grossed out. I'd
Do
be
your
like,
nose,
you do
put it
I
in,
didn't
and
do
then
it.
2
I
days
still
ago.
do it, even when I'm sick, just for I don't know why, because I've never had COVID.
What?
That I thought.
He's I just like you. I just
I'm like, I want to at least test positive once. I don't know why,
I want to say
but
I had it.
yeah, just to say. Hell yeah.
But no, man, I known Johnny for a while, and I said, you know what, man, you're doing a lot of stuff, and I go, let's do Chicano Hollywood podcast, and he's like, well, what are we gonna call it? I go, Chicano Hollywood,
Podcast.
Chicano Hollywood podcast.
That's it. Why would I change it?
Yeah, so
Gotta keep
we
it
started it.
the
We're
brand.
2 shows in, and this Wednesday, another show at 7 a.m. comes out with Kool-Aid.
Hey, shout out Kool-Aid.
With
What up?
Kool-Aid,
cool.
she's coming
Yeah,
on, and
I
then
love
we have
that
another
lady.
recording with Joel. He's
Joel
the
Gonzalez.
president of Nosotros. Which
I caught your vlog, your mini vlog at the Orchata.
Oh, yeah.
premiere.
Oh, you got
We're
on?
kind of going on. That's the thing about JR, man. He's I love it. He's digital behind the camera, but he's also in front of the camera. I think you were filming him or something like that.
No,
he was doing
I was
it
in my
all.
hand.
Yeah,
Were you?
yeah.
Yes.
Because you told him to come from behind the camera somewhere, or
Yeah,
somebody was.
I was holding it.
Yeah, he was
Oh,
holding, but I was working.
Bro, pops,
Yeah.
do it your damn self.
I have to
Sometimes
do
you gotta
it, man.
your damn
I almost got
self.
hit by a bus.
Yeah,
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 I'm
yeah.
saying
That's
about a
right.
bus.
He's walking out to get the shot of the whole martini.
daughter
and
says,
my daughter's like, "What are you doing?"
And then the bus just goes.
barely skimmed his back.
Damn.
And everyone would have been like, Orchata Oat Milk would have been canceled for a moment.
Because JR died. That would have been terrible. You know?
Did you say on a waiver?
No waivers,
No
man.
waivers, no waivers.
Man.
Actually, we would have probably said, "Oh, the show must go on."
Show must go on. A moment of silence.
Street drunk. Hey, nothing new.
A moment of silence for me, you
You
know.
would have got a memorial card. I'm
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. We put
end of the
the
film.
little beat in there on the street with the candles and all that every day.
I would
I'd
have been
light
in the
it up.
credits in memory of.
Yeah,
the credits.
yeah, in memory of, yeah.
So aside of Chicano Hollywood, you're also in the West Covina Mall. You got something going, or you do something once a year?
Yeah.
Or you doing
We
events throughout the year?
every city has a chamber of commerce, so I have a business partner, and it's called the Greater West Covina Business Association.
Okay.
So we act as the chamber of commerce of West Covina and the San Gabriel Valley. So we do that, and then we have a podcast called Let's Connect Now, which brings on businesses. So a lot of the businesses in the San Gabriel Valley come on. They share their stories, which from banks to med spas to all kinds of. We have just on and on. And they sponsor us and everything.
He's also a great actor. And we
Oh, shoot, yeah,
I don't know if
yeah.
you've
Here we
seen
go.
this part. Here in Hollywood now, a new thing that came from China is these vertical series. I don't know if you've seen those yet.
I saw you talking about them.
Like on TikTok and stuff like that. I don't like them, but they're making a lot of money from these guys. So China, about a year ago, one of my guys, he produces in China. He texts me from China. He said, "Dude, have you seen these?" And I said, "I haven't heard of them." So he sends me a list, and he goes, "They're hot in China. They're coming to the U.S." Now, fast forward a year later, there's like a lot of vertical productions that are happening. Basically, it's a any kind of TV show. Normally, they're like novelas, right? Just really dramatic and
With cliffhangers at the end.
yeah, cliffhangers, exactly.
Yeah, I
And-
had to keep on doing the stare.
yeah. So
After everything, just stay there for a minute. I'm like, what the heck?
and I when that was coming, I'm like, I don't want us being the Chicano community to get behind again. You know, I'm like, okay, if this is a thing, I'm gonna jump in and learn it. So we did our first one. It's called Sabrina. It's about a young girl. He plays the dad, and he did a good job, man.
It was a good job. I literally played myself. You know, 2 daughters.
How
And-
easier can it get?
This is how good it was. The lines. Johnny, he does really good lines because I was Johnny. Oh,
writing lines.
writing lines.
Órale.
Yeah. Okay,
I know.
yeah.
I'm like, oh,
Hey, today's service. Pass the línea.
He writes good lines from scripts because I was rehearsing my lines and I had to go deal with my daughter,
your real daughter.
my real
right?
daughter.
Wow. Okay.
And I was dealing with her, and she literally said the line of the young girl in the script, where she said, "You know, you don't even care about what's happening in my life right now." I went, "Oh shoot!"
I remember that.
I said my line to her, and it worked. It worked. I told her, like, dude, your lines
was
work.
natural.
I know.
And it was natural. And she's like, and then I told her later, I go, I used my lines on you to my daughter. And
my
she's like,
God.
you're mean, Dad. And I was like, it worked. So yeah, I played myself.
funny, yeah.
I
just
love
played
how
myself.
your guys' relationship, man. I remember I used to watch some of your reels, and great father, man. My hats off to you on
thanks,
that.
man.
And you have one girl and then
2 girls, just two girls.
That's right. And it was like she was graduating. That's how far
Oh,
it
yeah.
goes back, bro. But you were always there, and you're just this funny dad. And it's like, don't ever change, man. Be
Oh,
that,
thanks,
be that
man.
young spirit, soul. You know, you start getting older, and it's like, you know, we're gonna cooped up and on a recliner. You know,
recliner.
Man, nah, man. You know what I'm saying? I said recliner. That's right. Nah, man. We out here.
mine at
Keep
home
right here in
too,
the
shoot.
streets. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's dope. So how'd you guys meet again?
So we met. He was producing a movie called Crave,
And I reached out to him.
Yeah, they reached out to us. We had a production company called Calanda, and we're based in Burbank. Our offices there. So somehow we connected on social media, and he says, "Hey, let's meet up." So he came to our offices in Burbank, and came all dappered up in his suit and all that, real kind of like I was talking to an Amway guy just trying to sell us,
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like,
He
this
thought
is
you were
cool.
taking him on a date.
Yeah, I mean all that. Yeah. So, but
I
I'm
gotta get the role.
I know. So he came and just like, let's network up, and then that's how we connected, and then from there we just always stayed in touch, and then he's like a brother to me, and day one with Chicano Hollywood, and whenever this, because everything comes and goes, right? If whenever it does, we'll still be part of it,
So yeah, I was doing a movie called Crave the Fast Life.
Crave
It's still
the
on
Fast
Amazon
Life.
Amazon Prime,
There you go.
and right now, and yeah, because
Something to watch.
just I was new to the industry. I wanted to get the support of Latinos supporting what I was doing. So I reached out to, that's what I said, nosotros, him. And I typed up Latinos, movies, industry, groups and stuff. And I just started reaching out to everybody to come see it, to come check me out. And
What are the titles again? Crave
the
Crave
Fast
the
Life.
yeah.
On Amazon
And
Prime.
that movie's cool because they had some, David Barelas was an amazing actor, writing a lot of TV stuff, and also the lead. Jerness, the lead.
She's she plays Lisa right now.
The new movie that came out.
Yeah.
She's Lisa.
Great documentary. Y'all go check it out.
Yeah.
It's a movie.
It's a movie. It's a movie. Yeah. So that really great movie. And
The lead actor
she
was
played
on
that,
East
yeah.
Los High when East Los High on Hulu was out. So we had a lot of we had Jay Hernandez say yes to the script, but he just wanted too much money, so we couldn't do it. So, but we wish we would have said yes because when we said no, he signed with Suicide Squad.
That's right.
make the movie.
Squad. Yeah.
And I was so mad. I was like, we should have just said yes to him. He wanted $60,000 for a 19-day shoot. 19-day shoot.
Shit.
Nice video.
Interesting.
That's when you have a team, an agent, and a
I'd
manager.
have been like, yeah, put it in my hand for a dime.
Yeah, 60 grand for 19 days.
Well.
Pay
Yeah,
that man.
it's a good movie. Yeah, it's a good to see all
You
the
like it?
stars that came
It's a
out
good
of it.
movie, yeah.
And what do you think about this guy?
He's good, man. He has a lot of vision.
I'm smart with
Come on, bro. What you gonna say right now?
What you gonna say, homie?
Well, I don't know. I'll just drop the mic.
One thing about JR and I have this really good relationship. Honestly, when I'm ever, it sucks. Sometimes I screwed up when we're in business.
Yeah.
Because I always like to jack up. Just
See, this is what I want to hear. I want to hear the good stuff.
It's like,
Come on, man.
I'll we'll go back and forth when we should be in a business situation. But we start capping on each other. We call it capping back in the day. I don't remember
That's
that.
right,
We start
capping.
capping on each other and all
bagging.
that. Yeah.
No, we encourage one another. We straightforward with one another.
Ministry background.
He's
was
hung up on me.
Outreach.
Said he lost signal, and I know he hung up on me. 'Cause I'm
Yeah.
telling him.
I just go like this when I just keep driving.
He does have a ministry background. That's right.
Yeah, he had big
Yeah, I come from
outreach,
church too.
So we have a lot of that, But one thing about I think our relationship is that we're always going to keep growing together. And
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I'm sure I piss him off and he pisses me off, but it doesn't change anything. That's when you have bros.
Yeah.
It just doesn't change anything. I'm like, shut up, bro. And then hang up and later on, hey, what's up? Let's go eat. So that is.
Oh, dude, I'm going to the canyon right now, bro. I lost signal. Yeah, you did.
I'm on the grapevine.
You didn't lose signal, bro.
Or he'll call me and I'll say, okay, I got to come back and I forget. Call me again. Oh, yeah, I got to come back. I called you 2 times already over the weekend. You didn't.
I did. When I called you Sunday and Monday, what's up, bro?
Like, sorry. Yeah. So, when you can find.
I know you were toxic like that.
And I think it's the same dynamic you got with your crew. I mean, you just I would assume, I'm sorry if I was tapping into something. That's,
No, brothers and sisters, it's all good.
Yeah. And that's when you enjoy your work.
Yeah.
I've been, I produced a movie a couple years ago. It was a big budget movie, right? And it was miserable. For 90 days, it was misery. And after that movie, and it did well, went on theater and did in Mexico and Poland and all those crazy places. But after that movie, I decided I will never do that again. Every day was misery. We got it done, though. But I thought, what if I were to have died? We went on set from August 15th to October 31st. What if I would have died November 1st? That would have been my last 90 days, would have been without my family, out in the mountains of New Mexico, and in misery. And there's people that are still tight with me now. Echoes was with me. LB was with me, the director of Orchata. We're all together, right? They're a camera team for me. But it was misery because it was so stressful. And after that, I had nightmares until mid-December. And I thought, I will never do that again. If I can't have fun working on the day, then I don't want to do it. Because I'd have died November 1st. My last 90 days would have been miserable. So after that, I said, no, I'm just going to work with friends. I just want to have my brothers around because it's just not worth it,
Yep.
That sounds like a 58-year-old man talking, but that's what I am now,
It's the beauty of it.
You get old and you realize
stuff.
I don't want to,
Yep.
I don't want to do that no more. So I make sure that no matter what set if I'm the boss, we're going to have fun. And
Nice.
sometimes I get hired to do stuff and they're stupid, but I know I still have fun,
Yeah.
But
What's the most wildest thing that happened on set that not wild like crazy, but just some shit like either didn't go right or
Whatever happens on set stays on set, bro.
I know.
It's like Vegas. It's like Vegas, bro.
I said malfunction.
Yeah.
Secrets of Hollywood.
I've had such crazy tensions. The owners of the project are in a civil war. I've had the hotels call me and say, hey, sending me pictures of all these cocaine all over the hotel rooms. I've had to call cops. That
was part of the set?
Yeah, it was all part of the set. All part of the set. It's my grips are over there, doing cocaine at night, stuff like that.
I have to say is I'm tired. Oh, what?
I've had to fire like a lot of people because of whatever, and I hate firing people, but if you got to go, you got to go. So I always do them, hey, not this one, we'll get you on the next one.
Right.
So, I've had.
I mean, it's 16 days. Like, just be good.
Well, that one is just, I'm talking about the 90-day one. The 16-day, we had fun the whole day. That was the best experience. We had fun all the time.
Hey, you're writing out all concrete. Jay, he thought it was some Orchata.
That was, see, probably.
Wow.
That was
16
probably.
days. Everyone's partying like that.
I know.
You guys were up 16 days
cocaine, all that? No. That was the 90-day one. The Orchata, that set was probably where it solidified. This is how my sets are going to be all the time. Always fun. It was cracking up, laughing, and that was a beautiful set. The movie I did before that was so tense. It was ridiculous. So, we had the last night. I had a 23-hour night. I got there. I'm always first on set and last to leave. So I got there at 10 in the morning, and overnight I got there at 11, left at 10 the next day. That set, I remember we had tension fights. We had the sound guy that didn't want to release the sound files because he felt like he wasn't going to get paid, which I didn't blame him because they weren't going to pay him, all this stuff. And he was holding the sound files hostage, and he had the director blowing his top, have all this stuff crazy. The cops had to come. We were on an Indian reservation in northern New Mexico, so it took a freaking hour and a half for the cops to get there. And we're like, what are we doing? So I'm like, so it was so ridiculous. Wow. No one was giving up. They all had their fights. So it's been the dumbest stuff like that.
Was it New Mexico where homeboy they shot that girl on set allegedly?
Oh yeah. The
Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin, yeah. Rush, something like that.
Yeah.
A lot of people. That's the spot to film New Mexico.
Yeah, they have a good tax film incentive. You go out there and you spend. Whatever you spend there, they'll give you, 25 to 35% back in a rebate. So like that particular movie, we probably spent, it was funny. I had a lot of crew from New Mexico, but I had to fire them little by little. So I had to bring in people from LA. But we probably spent there close to about $600,000 or something like that. The whole project was like $2 million. And after the audit and all that, they gave the producers back probably $150,000, something like that, So you just get a wire for that much just for spending it there. So it's not a bad deal, but they have that in El Paso and
I think they have that in our music concert packages too.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I think I saw a line in Bobby D's contract that said something about a 25%
tax rebate
or so.
Yeah.
Maybe we got something coming back.
You just got there's a lot of paperwork. If no one's doing the paperwork, it's not going to come back. Yeah. It's not easy.
That's the line I'll take.
Yeah, but it's a lot of paperwork, but you just got to be smart about it. I hired somebody from New Mexico that used to work for that department, and I said, your main job is to make sure we get money back, and it worked. So they got their money back. But yeah. So whenever you do like any kind of production, check if there's a rebate. It might apply to concerts. It might apply to any what you're doing, and you just. And some have minimal spends. Some are like $25,000. You spend $25,000.
Yeah.
But some the cap's like $500,000. Like California's the worst. They, I think their minimum is $500,000. And I'm really trying to talk to legislators to say, bring that down, man. Not all of us can have $500K to spend on a movie, but they're saying you got to spend $500,000 for us to give you this. So,
can we work in our truck registration and that too, and
if
our
it's,
mortgage and
the studio. So whatever
everything's up.
I would write this sucker off right here because it's your studio.
Absolutely. No, I say that because now everybody's going to Arizona to get their registration and just coming back here.
I know.
It's ridiculous.
I'm from Surprise, Arizona.
But going back to the podcast though, so. What are your plans? Are you just going to keep riding?
Well, we want to build it up. Part of the ecosystem, that's the biggest thing. I want to be able to, when we get a cool movie, right, where we have our reach so that we can put it in our magazine, put it on our socials, run commercials on our streaming app, and then market it through our podcast.
Okay.
So it's this whole entertainment-based ecosystem that we're building, and the podcast is right there on the head of the spear. Because it's immediate connection, so
it's needed.
And this guy's a master at podcasting.
Yeah,
it's not my thing. it's his. But when him and I are together on camera, it's just like this. We're jacking around, having fun.
Yeah.
And we have good chemistry together. But he knows how to run them. I don't know jack about production.
Well, when I went to your spot, Jerry and the crew, like just seeing it before I even when you invited us, I was like, man, this looks legit. I think I told you that, and then when I got there, I was just, we need that. We need this.
Yeah, he just kept on like, yeah, I want that, I want the light. How much did that cost? Would you get this? Would you?
But
do
you
that?
know what? People did the same thing when they came to my studio. You know, like through everybody from, well, I won't say some names, but just they pulled up. But you know, Sharon is caring, like whatever, right? You know,
now that I walked in today,
I
I
think
see
if
how
I
you.
give you something, bro,
Shoot.
your job is to go help somebody else.
Exactly.
Well, I like how you're hanging your camera, so that's why I'm like, oh shoot, I didn't see that part. I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to get me one of those. So yeah, well, you learn from each other.
Absolutely.
'Cause at first I was like, yeah, I can put these up, but then if people walk in, they're gonna hit you. You go, no, you can put it up. I'm like, oh hell yeah.
Oh, yeah, they twist up. and
Yeah.
down. Oh, that's smart.
That's it, brother. That's it,
Look
man.
at
I
that.
love it.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah.
You got to deal with what the space you got, man. But,
Yeah, and what's good about this sucker too is that immediately got on Spotify, right, and all these others, whatever, and that's skills I didn't have. So the balance of what he's brought to the table is amazing. So good, he's a good producer on that stuff, you know.
dope stuff, man. Again, I know you got some stuff coming up. Your studio, the Chicano, you do it at the mall, right?
Yeah, West Covina Mall. Yeah.
Okay.
We do at the West Covina Mall. We have a studio there. It's really nice, man. It's a really nice studio. Everyone walks in like before, but it just took it to another level. Because I think we were at with you. We didn't have air conditioning really, all that stuff. Now we have.
Oh,
air.
he went to the old one, Tiny.
Yeah, he went to Tiny's.
Oh,
yeah.
freaking
I
hot.
think I
over
pulled
there.
up the first time we
back
pulled
warehouse over there with the train.
Yeah, yeah.
People heard the train go by.
The train goes right by, right behind you. That big
Oh.
train. Yeah, yeah.
I was like, who's training?
Yeah.
Who training who? I didn't go to that party.
Why didn't you invite me to that
real
one?
train, yeah. But now he's in the mall, right? So it's a nice space. That's where they have the West Covina business one, and then he has these trusses all over. So
That's dope.
really cool.
We set it up,
Check
man.
it out, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely got to have you on, man. The Chicano Hollywood podcast too. So
Let's get it. Let's get it.
we have
We'll
you
talk
at
about
Hispanic Heritage.
everything.
Everything,
Let's
man.
go
We
line
got
up.
we got some big stuff for the summer. That's gonna be great, dude. Yeah.
My man, Johnny Murillo, thank you for pulling up, brother. Anything we need to let the gente know?
I said it all out. Well, you were doing the tech thing.
I
blah,
know,
blah,
right?
blah,
Just run
blah.
that shit back 15
The
minutes ago.
biggest thing, do me a favor, download our streaming app. I'm gonna go hard on that. It'll make our we're looking for investors right now, so I got to get all the numbers up. So go to Chicano Hollywood on your app in whether Roku or iPhone or Google, whatever it is, Android.
I gotta download that
Put
app, yeah.
Chicano Hollywood in there, download it. We have a lot of good Chicano indie stuff on there. So that's the biggest thing and then our magazine to go to ChicanoHmag.com. You can get that for free. There's 2 editions on there now. So I got to get all those numbers up because now I'm pitching to these players, right? And they're gonna be like, "What's your numbers?"
That's what they look at.
yeah.
bro.
What's your
Trust me,
numbers?
We've been there for 2
Yeah,
years.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, all right, what's your numbers looking like? Yeah, it's not who you know. It is who you know, but it's like, well, why should we give you this much?
Yeah.
When it comes to the sponsors and all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's all about the data.
Yeah, you're good at that, bro. I'll have to holler at you for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, that's it. So appreciate all the support. Appreciate all you're doing, bro.
Thank you.
You know,
Thanks for coming
a
down.
lot of people are standing on your shoulders. That's really cool. I know you don't see them, but
I'm way out here in the Illinois Park.
if across the nation,
I need to get to
though,
LA more. Is what
Right.
it is.
Well,
I see how you guys having fun out there, and I'm like,
it's across the nation though, and even actually the world now. But so many people are inspired by what you guys did, and you'll never really know or grasp it, but maybe you do. But that
I'm starting to catch on.
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
The older
yeah.
I get, I'm like, damn.
And
Especially
sometimes
when
it
the
sucks being a pioneer because pioneers have to build a cabin, they have to dig their own latrine, they have to go out there and hunt. I mean, it freaking sucks. But you weren't designed to be for now. You were designed to do it. No one else could have done what you guys did. No one else. You took all of us to this new level.
Man, that's
So,
dope. You
it's
just gave me a
amazing.
visual though, bro. Like my grandpa out there in the back, like digging dirt with his foot. You know how they have measures now and shit, like with the line. He's like, I can't go.
Yeah, and he did it right.
Not the
You
level.
eye that shit,
Yeah.
draw the hole and everything else. And now I'm using my iPhone as a fucking measuring tape.
Yeah, I know.
Crazy.
But it's grit like Grandpa had, bro. And
Yeah.
that's what you guys had in the entertainment industry. So I think it's great. I think
Calling me a grandpa about that?
we're all, I am, bro. I got 5 grandkids. So,
Hell yeah, hell yeah. All right, we're definitely going to link up, man. Appreciate the energy that you guys both bring. JR, thanks for coming through. You can follow us at the Blockout Podcast on all social medias. Look out for us. Let's see what we got. We'll be touring Lighter Shade of Brown. Shout out Money Moons. Danny Boy. We'll be in Colorado on...
The 26th.
See, I told you, I can't shout it out like you, bro. Just go to the website. Look at Denver right there.
Look at
Shout out
that
to Denver.
website. Check that
We're
out.
coming out there.
Look at that. That's great.
April
man.
26th.
Where
They
you going?
got
Red Rocks?
Play
What
Ball
venue?
Sports Bar and Grill. It's a new spot
Palo.
in there.
I used to live in Denver.
Oh, okay.
Ministry
It's off
in Denver,
of,
yeah.
what street is it off of right there? Maybe you
It
might.
says,
South Sheridan Boulevard.
Sheridan. Yeah. I know
Okay.
exactly where that's at. Yeah.
And then what else we got, Danny? And then we'll be on the cruise after that.
You going on a cruise?
Yeah, we do these old school cruises.
Oh, you guys with that with Mike and those guys or Mark?
Yeah, with Jason?
Yeah.
With Jason,
heck
yeah.
Sold
There it is,
out.
old school cruise.
Yeah,
Stevie
dude.
B,
Man,
Sister Sledge, all of us.
that's cool.
This will be our third year going on there. We're doing one in we do one Cinco de Mayo, then we do one in September. It's for a weekend, 4 nights. But next year, 2026, which I think might be sold out already, we're doing
They sell
Cabo?
like that.
a week in Cabo. Yeah,
Really?
bro,
That's cool.
it's pretty.
Those
dope.
guys do great, man. They freaking get those whole boats and they pack them out like that. I hit them up about doing marketing for them. Like, wow, we sell out overnight. I'm like, oh, never mind. I need you, You don't need me. I need you, So, but they're cool guys that do
They
that,
are.
Lou goes on those too, right?
Lou Pizarro, he's the host on there.
Yeah.
Cece from K-Day,
she
she's
goes
on
on those
board.
too,
Angel
yeah.
Baby, the new Art
Oh,
Laboe
yeah,
host.
Angel Baby, yeah.
Latin Legends right there, El Chicano. That'll be in Prim, Nevada. State Line, come see us again.
Malo.
Again, you can get your tickets, yeah.
The Mina
El
de
Chicano,
Tierra.
great.
That's great, man. Oh, that's all Raza music. See, no one can claim that. That's all us.
And there we are here in our own backyard. Inland Empire, shout out Nationwide Events. We'll be in Adelanto.
Oh, Nationwide, yeah.
You know the homie?
Oh, yeah. We'll be there.
Mana
M-Dub.
Perez.
He's a great actor too. M-Dub, man. I have a movie on our streaming platform called Sam's Cry.
Okay.
He freaking does amazing. That kid.
It's on the app?
It's on the app.
I gotta download
You want to
that
see M-Dub? You'll see him there with Concrete as well. But he's
Let me
a great
get a
actor.
roll already. Come on. Let me get a cameo down. Let me just get that.
I know,
download
dude. If
that.
you're down with it, let's do it.
Bro,
You know,
in 16 days, bro. Let's do 3.
I know.
Let's do 3. We'll do it one day.
Repeat Orchata.
You know what I'm saying?
I know, 60 racks. So, yeah.
60
racks? Let's do it.
I'll be the record rep trying to sign artists.
Yeah, the 60 tamales is what we do on Orchata.
That's dope, man. All right, guys. Well, that's it, man. We're going to get up out of here. And
Thank you, man. Thank you so much. This is fun.
thank you so much, Johnny Murillo, JR. Chicano Hollywood, baby.
Yo,
Let's go.
thank you, everybody that stayed on. We probably bored you towards the end, but thank you.